Good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy. Um, Leon, another speaker, he was not able to be here today as he's one of the panelists in another event in CTU. But anyway, it's a pity for him for not being here. So I hope you will have a good time with me today. And okay, so the topic of the presentation or the sharing of today is embracing change, leveraging generative AI to transform teaching and learning in higher education. I'm a learning designer at Hong Kong U. As we're talking about AI today, so I would like to invite my best AI friend to say hello to everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in this session. My name is Cindy. I am a learning designer at HKU. Hope you enjoy the sharing today and feel free to connect with me, then we can share more with each other in the future. Thank you.
Well, I hope I still look okay on the screen. Okay, so what I did is like I upload my image and then I write a script. So I just used a technology called did.com. It is for free, so you can give it a try. So what I did is I just input those images and the script and make these videos. I think it's quite nice as I also work as a teaching assistant in the classroom. And I found the students, they're quite shy to introduce themselves and make friends with each other on the Moodle. So I think it is one of the good ways to encourage them to interact with each other online. Okay, so before the Q&A session today, I would like to be the first one to propose a question. I would like to ask everyone in this room, in what scenarios can we use such kind of AI-empowered creation to facilitate teaching and learning? So I just given an example, like to encourage the students to introduce themselves, to interact themselves. So may I ask if there is any volunteer would like to share your views? Okay, it should be fine. I understand like in this early morning, it's very hard like to interact with answering questions. Totally fine. Okay, here's the overview of the presentation today. First of all, I would like to talk about AI, generative AI, and common uses of generative AI. So very brief introduction. Well, I don't have much knowledge or skills of computer science. I'm an education person. So at the very beginning, when I tried to learn something, the first thing I would like to learn about is what's the differences between AI and generative AI. So I tried to search online, and then recently I found out like UNESCO launched this quick start guide. I like this guide very much because it only have 15 pages, very easy to read, and they give not a definition but a common agreement that it says like AI. Well, the machine based on AI are potentially capable of imitating or even existing human cognitive capacities, including sensing, language interactions, reasoning, and analyze, problem solving, and even creativity. To be honest, to a person like who don't have any CS backgrounds, I still have no idea of what it is. So I try to ask ChatGPT. I say like, can you give me 5 examples of AI application in daily life? And here's the answer. Virtual personal assistant. It also gives me the answer with Siri and Google Assistant. It helps a lot because I interact with my Siri every day. And then recommendation systems, Netflix, Spotify, Amazon, image and speech recognition, Face ID, voice assistant, auto tagging of photos on social media. Face ID also helps a lot because I have many banking accounts. To be honest, I don't remember the passcode. So if I cannot use Face ID, I will need to reset all passcodes. And then spam filters, email spam, like ride sharing and navigating apps, Google Maps, Uber. Like I used Google Maps to navigate me to be here today. It's my first visit. It's my first visit in DI. And then generative AI. So as I'm still on the same page of ChatGPT, so I just asked ChatGPT, like, introduce generative AI with 50 words to a layman, because I was a layman at the time. Then it says generative AI is the type of AI that can create new and original content like images, music, or text that looks and sounds like something humans would make. It learns from existing data and uses the knowledge to generate fresh and creative output. It's like an AI artist. So the keywords I catch is like, wow, still AI, a type of AI, and then it can create new and original content. I think because the generative AI can create new contents, these cause the concerns like why we're worried about students they will use it in their learning or creating their assignment, because we don't really know like what part of the assignment are created by the students or what part of the assignment they are created by generative AI. Similar to the last question, I also asked ChatGPT to give me 5 examples of generative AI in the field of education. So here you are. Like intelligent tutorial systems can be adapted to individual student needs, like the chatbots. I think chatbot has been a very popular topic in the IT and education, but I think as the emergence of generative AI, it becomes popular again because we can unleash the potential, like more potential of chatbot tools used in the education, and then content creation and generation. Like we can use it to generate quizzes, assessments, and exercise. And for a learning designer, we to be honest, a learning designer is not only to design a course, but I found generative AI tools quite helpful for to me, like to design those learning tasks or assessments. And language learning and translation, VR, AR education. I hope you still remember the keyword metaverse, and then data analytics and insights. In the field of IT and education, we talk about learning design and learning analytics a lot. So it's okay for me to understand this part. Yes. And I hope this page also show you a good example of how I use Gen AI for me to learn something new. Thank you. Okay, so talk about the common uses of Gen AI. I would like to categorize them into 2 parts, for general use and then for academic use. Before we know what tools we are going to use, I think the first thing we need to figure out is like the purposes. Like why do we need this kind of tool to help us in the T&L activities? For example, for general use in teaching and learning context, maybe we want to design better slides or graphics or visualizations for T&L activities, or to create content, making notes, class notes, and announcement wikis, etc. Because I also worked as a teacher assistant, I found the Gen AI tool quite helpful because I need to draft those announcements, emails to students a lot. And then here's the list of tools that's quite helpful. They offer free trial to users. Okay, for academic use, I think for to educators and researchers, the purposes of doing research or to use Gen AI tools for academic purposes includes these, like explore research topics, narrow down research questions, look for literatures, find a research gap, locate papers, blah, blah, blah. And here's a list of tools also for free so that you can try it out. Okay, so what's happening at Hong Kong U? I think people are quite curious about this. Okay, so we did and we do have university-wide events. We have different like seminar, webinar, workshop, hands-on workshop, and training sessions for Hong Kong U teachers and staff. For example, we have seminar for teachers to learn about Gen AI. We also have discussion forum for them to raise questions, to share their concerns. And also, recently we have 5 sessions of discussion forums on talking about or chatting about ChatGPT and generative AI with this theme. Because in the upcoming academic year, we would like to propose a new policy regarding on the use of ChatGPT and Gen AI for TNL. We also have some e-learning blog posts created by lecturers or professors around Hong Kong U to provide some idea. For example, how to design essay assignments if students can access ChatGPT or other similar tools. And also we have series workshops, training workshops on it with the topic of AI literacy for all. Although we are still exploring what AI literacy is and how we can teach AI literacy, but we try to share something with our teachers, staff, and also students. And here's some of the topics involved in the training sessions. Okay, so in April or since April, Hong Kong U teachers and staff, we have the access to chatgpt.hku.hk. So it's a Hong Kong U version ChatGPT. So without using VPN, we can use the ChatGPT. So I think this is the same. Type in the questions. So say please define learning design. And I get an answer. And then I try to ask for more information. I say can you give 5 references to introduce learning design? And it shows the answer. Because we all know sometimes ChatGPT will give up false answers. So there was 1 second I was thinking of being lazy. I don't want to verify the information, but I did because I need to do the presentation today. I need to be responsible for what I'm doing. So I asked again, can you provide source information of these 5 reference mentioned? And yes, I have those source information, but I also double check outside the screen casting, and yes, they are correct. Okay, so only for this piece of information, you need to try more and you need to verify more. Okay. Okay, so during the AI literacy for all that training session, we also surveyed our teachers and staff what they're curious or worried about. So I highlighted 3 questions we asked them. The first is we asked about their experiences on using AI tools for TNL, and I tried to categorize this into 2 parts, good and not that good parts. So the good part is the Gen AI tools. It is good for us to brainstorm ideas, summarize notes, check grammars, and sometimes it responds promptly. But the not so good part is it provides misleading information, and it provides information without references, or they just make up the references. And then the users or us, we need to learn how to write prompts. And then we also asked about the hurdles, and his top 5 answers from the 49 responses. The first thing is VPN, because we all know that we are not able to use ChatGPT. But as a Hong Kong U staff, I'm so lucky because we have the Hong Kong U access for that. And then need to fact check, and it's expensive. It's okay, Hong Kong U could pay for that. Wrong answers and unclear Hong Kong U policy. Feel sorry about this, but I think we will have good news in the following 2 months. We also asked about the participants, their expectation for the training workshops. So basically 2 things, how to use it effectively and the limitations of the tools. Well, here I try to use the hashtag AI applications Hong Kong U Ed for education, community of interest Hong Kong U Med for medicine, and AI advisors. Here's one of the examples of how teachers and students, they talk about Gen AI things in the classrooms. So in a master level course, March 2023, IT and Educational Leadership at Hong Kong U, like the students, they have a collaboration space for AI community of interest. Because we're all like every day when I wake up, when I go online, I can see something new about AI education online, right? So this community of interest is for educators and students. They read, share, and exchange ideas towards the AI relevant topics. And I found this website last week because I follow some local influencers, and I noticed that like they are Hong Kong U medical students, and they have launched these AI assistant tools with different topics: sexual health advisors, nutritionists, and fitness advisors, and mental health. So we can see like students, they already applying what they have learned about Gen AI, and they are also trying to have their own business of using this kind of Gen AI tool. Okay, what's coming soon? We will have a new policy. It's under review right now. Okay, so I would like to share some insight from a learning design perspective. The first thing is information literacy, because I see how students interact with the Gen AI tool, how users interact with the Gen AI tools. It actually involves this four stage. First, we need to determine the information, and then we need to seek information online, and then we need to evaluate and apply it. So how to be information literate? I think there are two important things. One is like to access information, we have different access to different tools, and then we can make critical decisions. So for teachers and educators, I think it's quite important for us, like how to create our learning design or redesign our curriculum. So learning design, we're talking about in a certain disciplinary practice, we have learning outcomes, and then we design learning tasks and activities for students. So I asked ChatGPT how can teachers and students make use of Gen AI in vocational training, and it gave me some suggestions, but it's too vague. So, but when I try to think of like how we can make use of Gen AI, I've been thinking if the learning outcomes is involve disciplinary knowledge, skills, and 21st century skills, I think the Gen AI can help students to learn about disciplinary knowledge and skills. In this case, teachers can spend more time to design the learning tasks and activities to cultivate and develop students' 21st century skills. Okay, so from a learning design perspective, it's different from course design or instructional design. We focus more on learners. So in the Gen AI era, I think we can redesign or create a better learning design to improve or to make our students better learners. Like I highlighted this like 5S: self-driven, self-motivated, self-regulated, self-disciplined. And then the students, they would know why, what, how, and also how to use AI tools in an ethical way. So teachers should act more as a facilitator in the AI boosting era. Okay, here's some suggestions. I will just flip it, like try it yourself. And then you need to learn about prompts, and then customize your prompt list, and then improve your prompt list with students. Because I think nowadays the teaching and learning contests involve teachers, students, and also generative AI. I have some useful resources as well, but I'm not going to talk about this. You can check it out on the website. I included all the information on the event website. Thank you. Oh, last. This is my favorite quote. AI will not replace you. A person using AI will. But I know we won't be replaced because we are here today to share and learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, for your presentation. I remember, I think last week you also came to VTC to deliver your talk with Leon. Yeah, I was there. but I didn't have to ask you a question about using the generative AIs. So may I ask that Hong Kong is going to have some sort of policy for the student and the staff to use generative AI in the coming new academic years? I just want to ask one question that, do you think that the students who are going to use the generative AI to generate essay for submission, would they be penalized?
I
As
think
far as you know about the policy from the Hong Kong U.
To be honest, I haven't read any detail of the policy documents. Yes, but because I also work as a TA in one of the master level course, and we did encounter and scenario is like we found out the Turnitin detect that one of the assignment is like very high proportion
Containing a lot of the
prejudice.
generative AI material, something like that, right?
Yes, but to be honest, the Turnitin AI is not that reliable. But we also consult with the students and we ask he or she to provide more like process the detailed informations of like how he or she wrote that essay. I think it should be one of the good ways to discuss this issue with the student, to consult with the student together. Yes.
Okay. So just ask the student how they process the essay in a way to generate ideas and how they write.
Yes.
Once the essays contain generative AI materials.
Yes, because the master level course is in the program of IT in education, and the lecturer is Professor Nancy Law. And one of the very important things that we would let the student know at the beginning of the semester is like we require them to make their learning visible.
Okay.
So we also provide wikis in the Moodle for them to visualize their learning process. So we kind of remind them of marking their process of learning. Yeah, I think it's a good way.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for your question.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for your sharing. I just wonder, it's all curiosity. Can you share, since you're an instructional designer, right? Can you share like a piece of work or any, curriculum or teaching and learning activities that you've been designing using generative AI? And in what context that was, since you also said that you've been teaching master degree students. So is that piece of, or is that pack of designed tool being designed for master class or for bachelor degree?
Oh, thanks
Just
for the
experience sharing.
Yeah. I think thanks for the question and thanks for proposing the role like instructional designer. Because to be honest, I'm a learning designer right now, so I'm not an instructional designer. I used to be an instructional designer, but at that time, I have a math gen AI, so I don't have this kind of tools to share. And the community of interest I just share with you, it is the community that we used in the master level course, because in that course, one of the group assignments is we ask the students to propose a policy recommendations for different stakeholders. For example, like Hong Kong EDB, Shenzhen EDB, Hong Kong U Common Core, and also Hong Kong U Faculty of Education. And we also have a panel discussion at the end of the session. Because for these kind of students, they will be teachers, learning designers in the future, and in that course, IT and educational leadership. So maybe someday they will be the leader. And also, it is like in semester 2, the course is in semester 2. So it is during the periods like Hong Kong U is talking about policy, how we can make a better policy. So I think that in that classroom, the discussions and the active participation of that group of students around Hong Kong U, they actually offers very valuable information and discussions for the upcoming policy documents. Yes, I hope we can share with you very soon. Thank you.
Do you think old-fashioned students' presentations of the materials is effective to test whether students have at least good understanding of potential AI-generated materials? That means students are not really new generation.
Oh, like old-fashioned. Okay. based on my understanding, I think like if we are going to use the Gen AI or the new things or not, I need to know like the purpose why I'm using it. For example, I use iPhone, and then there are so many apps, but I don't use every app or every new app, right? So I think like it's impossible for everyone to use every Gen AI tools in every aspect. So I think it should be fine. Yes. Just to find out the purpose of using it.
Should be fine for all types of students.
So hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I just want to clarify the question. The question was, do you think just simple presentations? So rather than just a written submission, because that's easy, essay submissions are the easiest for AI generated kind of content, right? So do you think just normal presentations would be a good way to or a conversation or a dialogue with the students is enough way to test whether the students actually understand the AI generated materials rather than just simply submitting something that's generated?
Okay, so based on my understanding, I think it is a question for all the educators and teachers. It is like if the essays can like better deliver the message or what students learned in the classroom. Is that what you mean?
Well, having the students present the materials rather than just the written submission.
Oh, I don't think so, because present the material, I think it is the process, showing the process or visualize their learning process, but the essay, it could be the outcomes. So it's the same important as the learning process. But I do suggest maybe in the future, if we ask the student to submit an essay assignment, maybe at the same time, we can also ask them to show a wiki of visualizing their learning process. That would be the good way, I think.